guys, it's Alice, and today I thought I would do a little bit of a different haul and show you some cookbooks that I have gotten recently. And when I say recently, I mean like in the last 7-8 months maybe, and half of them I got as gifts. And I don't know, I just thought it would be fun to show you. I've been trying to get a little bit better at spending time making food and making it from scratch and learning how to make different dishes, because sometimes you get really tired of the stuff that you already know how to make. At least I do, and it's one of the things I'm like trying to get a little bit better at. By the way, while I'm going through these books, I'm going to try and put in some inserts so that you can see what the cookbooks look like on the inside, because I feel like that's very important and kind of essential when you want to like look at cookbooks. You have to look on the inside. Anyways, first is one I got quite recently, and you may have seen it in a vlog I did not too long ago, and it is the Book of Crumbles. I picked this up in England, and it's published by National Trust, which is a charity that helps preserve historic sites, I think. And this has 60 recipes, and there are crisps and crumbles and cobblers in here, both fruity ones and savory ones. There are illustrations in here, but they are quite scattered about, and there aren't illustrations of that many of the dishes, which I kind of wish there was, to be honest. I realized that that would make the book quite a lot bigger, but I think maybe that would be a good thing, although maybe not. Secondly, I got Cravings, Hungry for More by Chrissy Teigen. Now, I picked this up in a bookshop not too long ago because there was a January sale, and I just flipped through this and I thought it looked really good. One thing I really like about this is that it's not like, and this is maybe a weird thing to say, but it's not like overflowing with super healthy recipes. I feel like there's a good balance between like healthy things and maybe not so healthy things, and it's all just good food. Because I've seen, or I've flipped through some like celebrity cookbooks where I feel like there are only these like super healthy things and they just don't look that good, and it's just like spinach juice and it's like, oh my god, this is so tasty, and I'm like, girl, is it though? I really like the photography in this one as well, and as far as I can tell, almost all the recipes have pictures, and there are some other photos in here like of Chrissy and her family, which is nice but maybe not that necessary. I also feel like, as far as I can see, the recipes seem pretty easy to follow, like the instructions are quite clear, although I obviously haven't read all of them. This also has a banana bread recipe in it, which is apparently kind of like Twitter famous, and I really want to make it, but it calls for a box instant vanilla pudding mix or something like that, and I obviously don't live in America, so I don't really know where to get that. But if any of you know, is there something else that you can use instead? Because the recipe does say like you should really use this and not something else, but I don't want to like order it online just to make this damn bread. Next, I've got one that I got as a gift, and it is a Jubilee by Toni Tipton Martin. This has recipes from 2 centuries of African American cooking, and what's really interesting about this is that when I flipped through it, there are quite a lot of pages dedicated to just exploring and explaining the history of the different dishes, and I thought that was really interesting. There are quite a lot of things in here that are not at all familiar to me, but everything looks so good, and there seems to be quite a lot of stews in here, and I love stews, so I'm very excited about that. I love the photography in this book. It has a very distinct style that I really like, although I do wish that more of the recipes had photos of them, because I think for me, out of all the cookbooks I'm going to show you today, this is the farthest away from the type of food that I really know how to make and that I've had a lot of. Like, some of these recipes, they sound amazing, but I've never had it and I don't know what it's supposed to look like, and having a photo of it, to me at least, is very helpful. I've also read some of the recipes, and they call for tools that I don't have, like a pressure cooker. So if any of you know a way around having to use one of those, let me know, because I don't know if I can make it without it. Doesn't a pressure cooker just cook it faster, or I don't know. I've never had one. I've never used, I don't really know what it is. Then we have got 5 Ingredients by Jamie Oliver. Of all the cookbooks today, this is probably my favorite. Like, I love this one because it's just so easy. It is maybe a little unfair to say that because this is the one that I've had the longest and that I've sort of gotten to know the most and that I've made the most from, as opposed to the others, but it's just, oh, it's so good. This has, I think, over 100 recipes, and all of them only need 5 ingredients. So obviously they are quite simple, but they are delicious, at least the ones that I've made. Sometimes when I'm making new types of dishes, I can get a little bit discouraged when I see that the ingredient list has stuff that I don't really know what it is or really where to get it, and I know that I'm probably not going to use it for much else, and it just feels a little bit wasteful and it can get kind of expensive sometimes, but I've not had that problem with this at all. Another thing that I love about this is that all of the recipes have photos, even of the ingredients, which I think is pretty cool. And I just know that I can flip to a completely random page in this and I would be able to make the recipe, which is pretty darn good. And it's really easy to find your way around in as well, and I just really, really love this one. Second to last, we've got Half-Baked Harvest Super Simple by Tegan Gerard. Now, I got this mostly because I started following this woman on Instagram, and oh my god, all of the photos that she posts are so, so good, and all of the dishes, they just look so delicious. So I decided to get this, and this is another one of those cookbooks where I feel like there's a good balance of like healthy and then just like maybe some not so healthy things, and it's just, it seems to me very balanced. I sound very like bitter when it comes to like healthy cookbooks, but I've just come across so many where I've spent time making things that are just not that good. Like, I feel like it should be balanced, but also delicious, and that's what this is. The recipes in here seem quite manageable, and there aren't, as far as I can tell, a lot of like weird-ass ingredients, and there are quite a lot of like one-pot recipes in here, which I'm very excited for because I really want to learn how to make more of those types of dishes. And another thing that I love about this book is that in quite a lot of the recipes, she uses an instant cooker, but then she also writes how to make the dish if you don't have that. Like, you can make it in this type of pot or this way, and I really, really like that. All of the recipes in here seem quite warm and hearty and lovely, and the photography, just like on her Instagram, is just amazing. Another thing that really excites me about this book is that there seems to be quite a lot of soup recipes in here, and I love soup. Just looking at this makes me hungry. Lastly, I've got a cookbook in Norwegian, and it is Cookin Bakudan, Hundkomikeren og mat elsker by Ann-Kat. Hærland, Bjørn Svensson, and Martin Fjell. This translates to the chef, the baker, that comedian, and the food that they love. And if you're not Norwegian, you'll probably not be very familiar with these people, but I put this on my wish list for Christmas, which is when I got it, because it won some sort of award in a magazine, and it was like the best cookbook of 2019 or something. The recipes in here look really, really good, and there is quite a lot in here about sourdough, which is a thing I really want to learn how to make. I've already tried it and it did not work out, so I'm gonna have to try it again. It's kind of, it's not complicated, but I don't know, I just couldn't make it work, so I really want to try that again because sourdough bread is just so good. I really like the photos in here, but I will say I kind of wish there were more recipes in this book. Like, there are a lot of pages that are just like text, and it's about these people's relationship with food and their favorite food, and then some pages are just like bread, which I love bread, but I don't know, I just feel like I wish there were more recipes in here because that's why I got the book. And I've read some of the like pieces where they're just talking about food, and I don't know how interested I am in that, to be honest. The recipes that are in here though, they're all amazing, or at least they look amazing. I've made the schnitzel in here and it turned out really good, so that was a success. Okay guys, that was everything I had for you today. I don't know if this is gonna be that interesting to all of you, but at least for me, I love seeing other people get cookbooks and hearing what they think of them and like getting to see inside of them. So yeah, I would of course love to know what your favorite cookbook is, if you have one, or what your favorite recipe is, and I will see you soon.